Here are some recent major economic news and corporate events. The U.S. Federal Reserve raised interest rates for the second time this year. The Fed increased rates by 0.25% and signaled more hikes to come. This affects interest rates for mortgages, credit cards, savings accounts, etc. The U.S. stock markets hit new record highs. The Dow Jones, S&P 500 and Nasdaq indexes reached historic peaks due to positive economic growth and corporate earnings. The economic growth slowed in the U.S. The GDP expanded at an annual rate of 2% in Q3, below expectations. While still decent, the pace of growth has moderated recently. Inflation increased in the U.S. and European Union. Consumer prices rose at a faster pace in both markets, implying a potential for higher interest rates. China's economy expanded at slowest pace in 28 years. China's GDP growth declined to 6% year-over-year, raising concerns over the impact on global growth and markets. Tech companies Alphabet, Google, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Netflix were in the news. Google Plus social network was shut down. Netflix added new subscribers and original content. Amazon launched new devices and cloud tools. Oil prices declined significantly due to rising U.S. oil production and OPEC efforts. WTI crude oil dropped below $50 per barrel, hurting energy sector stocks. The U.S. budget deficit hit a record high. The deficit widened to over $1.5 trillion for FY 2019 as spending increased faster than revenue. This raises questions over sustainability of government finances. Corporate earnings season began for financial companies. Several major banks reported mixed results, with JP Morgan Chase beating expectations while Citi missed. More sectors will report earnings in the coming weeks. Does this help summarize some of the most significant recent economic and corporate news? Let me know if you have any other questions. Here are some additional details on the recent economic and corporate news. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 0.25% to a range of 2 to 2.25%. The Fed indicated it expects to raise rates again in December. Higher rates are aimed at preventing inflation but can slow down economic growth. The stock market indexes hit historic highs, with the Dow over 27,000, S&P 500 over 3,000, and Nasdaq over 8,000 for the first time. Strong corporate profits and economic optimism have boosted market sentiment recently. However, higher valuations also increase risks of a future pullback. U.S. GDP growth slowed to 2% annualized in Q3 from 4.2% in Q2. Business investment and exports weakened while consumer spending remained robust. Slower global growth and trade tensions pose headwinds to the U.S. economy. The pace of growth is still relatively healthy but momentum has moderated. Inflation rose in September to 1.7% in the US and 1.9% in the EU from previous months. Inflation that is moderately above central banks' targets could lead the Fed and ECB to raise rates again to prevent overheating. However, overly tight policy could curb economic expansion. It's a delicate balancing act. China's economy expanded at the slowest pace since 1990 at 6%. Weak global demand, trade disputes, and domestic financial risks have weighed on China's growth. China's economy is a major driver of global growth and trade, so a sharper slowdown would have widespread ramifications. More stimulus is expected. Tech companies made news with product releases, acquisitions, and performance. Google shut down its underused Google Plus social network. Netflix subscriber base surpassed 150 million worldwide and spending on original content reached an all-time high. Amazon launched new devices, cloud infrastructure announcements and debut for its cashierless Go stores. Oil prices slid nearly 20% from October highs. Rising U.S. shale oil output and OPEC production added to oversupply concerns, offsetting worries over Iranian supply cuts. The pullback in prices reduces costs for consumers but may cut into investment for producers over time. The U.S. budget deficit swelled to a record $1.47 trillion in FY 2019. Spending climbed 4% to $4.4 trillion while revenue grew just 1.8% to $3.5 trillion. Large deficits are difficult to sustain and raise questions over if and when policy changes may be needed. Addressing long-term debt is an issue for future government leadership to grapple with. Does this additional information help clarify the news in more detail? Let me know if you have any other questions.